Hey guys, Joel DNM here with Derek Morose. We're here going to talk to him. I'm going to ask him a few questions about basically everyone gets caught up on this fixed bid price or a fixed price contract and the cost plus contract. So we're just going to talk a little bit about both of them. I want to ask Derek, since he's the one that deals with this the most, about what his intentions are behind the fixed price and what the intentions are beside the cost plus price. So Derek, a customer comes in, they are saying, hey, what are my two options or three options? How am I gonna, go through this contract and go through this house build? And you're basically gonna give them a couple different ways to move through the project, and what would that look like for them?
Yeah, so like I say, the two main options are that fixed price or that cost plus, and people do get hung up on both of them and what they really are. Fixed price, just quickly, is that initial plan. You put a price to what's sitting in front of you on a piece of paper. So the more detailed the plan, the more accurate the price. On a cost plus, you put a budget together instead of a fixed price. And that budget allows you to spend the money more in your control as the customer. And it gives you a budget for every part of the build. So whatever you use based on that category of the build price, you use. And whatever you don't, you save. You're only paying for what you get.
So when you give someone, say, a contract to say, hey, we're going to build your house, and it lists down the pricing in it, and at the end, is this what it's going to cost to build your house? How does that look in regards to if it's a fixed bid contract or a cost plus? Is it still broken down into different things, or how does that look?
So yeah, your fixed price contract is going to give you a final total number at the bottom based on that set of plans. You look at it, it's got flooring, you've got your framing packages, you've got all that kind of stuff. And internally, you put together your price. You say, I'm going to build this house. This is what's in it, and this is your price. After that, any changes or additions you make to that, add to that total that was initially priced. So if a customer changes a layout or a material or anything in that build, it adds to the bottom. It adds to that bottom line.
Okay, so if you have a fixed bid price of $600,000 to build this house, and you must have flooring budget in there of, say, $5,000 or whatever, $10,000 or whatever that flooring budget is going to look like. You have a kitchen budget in there that the customers get allowances for these things, or how does that work?
Yeah, certain things have to be allowances, and certain things can be priced. And again, that comes down to the detail on the plan. If the detail specifically says a flooring type, then there's a fixed price to that. You can price it to that exact make and model of the flooring. And same thing with a kitchen to a point. All the plans will come with a basic kitchen design on it, and you'll price it to that basic kitchen design. In a fixed price, you have two options. You can give them, say, this is the materials that are used in this price. This is the countertop, this is the door style, this is what every sort of detail in the kitchen is. And any change after that is based on a customer choice. The other option in that fixed price that kind of varies from the term itself, fixed price, is an allowance for things like kitchen. And sometimes you'll get sort of a mix of both. But typically in a fixed price contract, you'll say your kitchen is this, and this. It's going to cost this much, or it's going to be this much total, but it won't give you a breakdown of that. So if you want to make change from that, it's up to that builder to now put a price to that and add it to that total. Yeah.
So if you have a kitchen in an allowance in your kitchen budget for $30,000, and for some reason you want something different in your kitchen, and it's going to bring that kitchen budget up to $35,000, say, where does that extra $5,000 come from?
It comes from your pocket. It's your initial price was $600,000, say, to build this house. Your now price will be $605,000.
Okay, so if a customer is making some of those changes in a fixed bid price, that's still going to get added to the total of that fixed bid price.
Yeah, if you make a change or an add-on, it doesn't matter which system you use. Ultimately, you're going to be paying for it.
Because I think a lot of people who are going into building a home think a fixed bid price is a fixed bid price, no matter what happens in the middle of all that.
Yeah, a fixed bid price in some ways is, but it's based on the detail that's on the plan or not on the plan. So if that detail is missing, it may be obsoleted out of that price and may add on to the bottom line at the end too. Anytime you make a want change, customer choice, it's going to add to that initial price that was priced out from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it adds up.
So then moving on to the cost plus system way of doing the build, how does that look then as compared to the fixed bid price?
So the cost plus system, we talked about the fixed price having some potential allowances. The cost price plus system is just that. You'll get an allowance for everything. You'll get allowance for your hardwood floor, you get allowance for your tile, you get allowance for kitchen, you get allowance for windows and doors, and essentially every aspect has allowances. If your builder's got a reasonable thing in there, a reasonable amount, you'll be on budget or under budget and get the materials you want. The key is that you make the choice and you only pay for what you choose.
Okay, so in a cost plus system, you say you have that same $600,000 budget to build that house, and what happens if you come in at 575 as a cost plus system?
As a cost plus system, if you come in on a budget of 575, you pay 575 versus 600. Okay. You're only paying for what you get, so you would essentially save that 25,000.
And in a fixed bid system,
you would
you still came in as the builder at 575, what would the customer be paying under that fixed bid system?
And that's the key. If in the fixed bid system, you'd still be paying 600 grand. You'd be paying that extra 25 grand, and that contractor has made the extra money. You haven't saved it.
And so why is that though? Like why does the contractor get to keep that extra bit if it's built for cheaper?
So on a fixed price system, you're assuming the risk as the contractor that it may or may not come in at that price. So just as it may have come in under and you save that money as a contractor, it could also come in slightly over for no reason other than out of the control of the customer, and you got to eat that. So as a contractor takes more risk, he has to put a reward in. So there's a buffer there allowing for things like weather, time delays, material delays, and just simple delays that may happen in unforeseen instances in the build. If everything goes really smoothly, the contractor stands to make more money.
Yeah, so I guess at the start of a project, if you've got your drywall priced out, your flooring, some of these other details that could potentially change in the 8, 9, 10 months from completion of the build. So as a builder to start with on a fixed bid price, you have to kind of incorporate the possible increases in materials so you're not eating the material markup costs as a sub-trade would come in and do something.
Yeah, as a builder, you got to look in the future and see what's coming. So unfortunately, there's a lot of controls not only within your region, but within and between countries. So if products are coming from the States, you got to kind of know what's going on and foresee some of those price increases, because you have to be able to absorb those without losing money. We are all here to make money as a business. So with those buffers, we call them buffers, but really they're allowances for things that change over that long term. In a year, you could easily see 1, 2, or 3 or more price changes in a specific product.
Yeah, I know that we've seen definitely an increase in drywall, increase in a bunch of different types of materials that go into the houses, and on the cost plus system, I guess in a sense that's good for a contractor also, because at least they're still making their little percentage of profit along the way during the build.
Yeah, it's a fair system is what it is, as long as you're both being fair and understand that. If a price goes up, the contractor has to be able to cover the cost of that to survive. Same thing as, probably a little more rare, but prices do drop in instances too. And in fairness to the customer, you save there.
So there you go, there's a fixed bid contract and a cost plus way of doing the build. It's ultimately your choice of which way you want to do it. If things go really smooth for that contractor, there's going to be more profit at the end of the day for that contractor. If you do the cost plus system, you know what your cost plus is, and all the way along the project. As Derek was mentioned earlier, we do a monthly billing where we got a software program that tracks every single invoice that comes in. We show that to you anytime you want to. We have a big file with every single invoice to the penny, and we just have our percentage on top of that. Like Derek was saying, you still need to make money in this business. So it's ultimately going to be up to you which one you choose. But like Derek was saying, the majority of DNM's customers do the cost plus system because of our transparency and openness to show them every single thing that's going into their house. And at the end of the day, get a really good product.